Well, it's time now for the business news with Delano D'Souza. Delano, you're starting with a look at the markets ahead of the US Fed decision later this week.
That's right, Eve. Good morning. Markets in Asia have started out Monday's session in positive territory. The Nikkei in Japan is closed for public holiday, but at this hour, we are seeing the Hang Seng in Hong Kong close up around over 1% rather. Gains as well for the Shanghai Composite. Now, European markets have opened the session, all the main indices opening in positive territory. The London FTSE up over 0.5%. Now, the US Federal Reserve will meet later this week, and while markets don't anticipate an interest rate hike, investors will be looking for more details on plans for the central bank to unwind its balance sheet. The Fed may be forced to put further rate hikes on hold this year due to the costs of Hurricanes Irma and Harvey.
There's a report out which shows that emissions from rigged diesel cars may be responsible for 5,000 deaths a year in Europe.
Exactly. The study published by the Environmental Research Letters Journal found that 10,000 deaths per year could be attributed to small particle pollution. This from emissions out of light-duty diesel vehicles. Now, the authors say half these deaths could have been avoided if emissions from diesel cars on roads matched those levels in a lab. The countries most affected are Italy, France and Germany due to the high volume of diesel cars and large populations. In 2015, Germany's Volkswagen admitted to US authorities that it fit defeat devices in its diesel cars.
Next, Delano, I believe in the coming weeks, it's what we were teasing at the top of the show, India is going to roll out 100,000 battery-operated buses and rickshaws.
That's right. This is part of the government's plan to make new vehicle sales all electric by 2030. Analysts have called the target daunting, but it's the first step in India meeting its climate change targets pledged in Paris back in 2015. Shirley Sitbon reports.
They're almost everywhere in India's major cities. Rickshaws are the backbone of urban transit. Replacing today's fuel-powered ones with electric models is a huge leap in the fight against pollution. Carmaker Mahindra unveiled its first e-rickshaws just over a week ago. In coming weeks, anyone will be able to ride them and battery-powered buses as India rolls 100,000 of those across its major cities. India is one of the world's most polluted nations, causing major health headaches to authorities who aim to reverse the trend.
One cool feature about this car is that it comes with an app which tells you the more you drive, how much carbon emission you've saved, which basically also equals to how many trees you've planted. So nothing like going back home every day knowing that you did something good.
By 2030, India wants all new vehicles sold to be electric. That goes further than France and the UK, which want to end new fossil fuel car sales by 2040. Today, the share of electric cars is lower than 3%. The government hopes private energy companies will invest in battery charging stations or in swapping bays where drivers could give their empty batteries and get charged once. To make the plan work, the vehicles need to be financially accessible. E-rickshaws are sold for over 1,600 euros.
Let's take a look at some of the other stories we're tracking for you now. And news articles and videos from Al Jazeera have been blocked on Snapchat in Saudi Arabia. The US-based Snap says it's been asked by the Saudi government to restrict access because Al Jazeera violates local laws. The Qatari-funded news organization has been under pressure since Riyadh and its allies severed ties with Doha. Snap's decision is the latest example of technology firms buckling under pressure from governments. Qatar plans on buying 24 Eurofighter Typhoon jets from Britain. The deal is a much-needed boost to BAE Systems. The Eurofighter has struggled to win new orders with competition from low-cost rivals. This June, Qatar agreed to buy F-15 jets from the United States, and last year it purchased 24 Rafale fighter jets from France for $7.5 billion. The Typhoon has an estimated unit price of £70 to £90 million. And over 2.5 million vehicles are set to be recalled in China. General Motors and its Chinese joint venture Shanghai GM say the recalls are due to faulty airbags. China's top watchdog says the vehicles are equipped with airbags made by the troubled Japanese from Takata. From the 29th of October, a number of Saab, Opel, Chevrolet and Buick cars will be recalled. And finally, the Stephen King adaptation It has scored a second strong week of ticket sales in the United States. The film took home an estimated $60 million in the second week alone. It was made with a budget of $35 million and has already grossed $371 million worldwide. Now, Mother, starring Jennifer Lawrence, Javier Bardem, Ed Harris, and I don't know which other actress, Michelle Pfeiffer, right? I forgot to mention Michelle Pfeiffer, took home only $7.5 million in its second weekend. So everyone's going to watch It, no one's watching Mother, which has all the stars apparently.
Are you going to go watch It?
I think I need to watch both of them.
Oh, I didn't even watch the original It. I remember when it came out. Even that, it's that very scene of the clown in the
You've
train.
missed out. It's such a good movie.
Delana D'Souza, thanks so much for that.